Patreon, every month you'll get amazing files that you can make, like this Donkey Kong, this dragon, this robot tech scarab, this Cerberus, or this super cool set of Bulbasaurs. You can also sell the prints from these files as an authorized seller. Join the Creature Crate Patreon now. Link is in the description below. Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. In the next 3D Printed Profits episode, I have my buddy Mike, known Mike for a while now. And Mike, where are you coming from, man?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. A lot of Texans on the show. So we're just going to talk to Mike about his business and what he does. And make sure you guys follow us on the Facebook group. And the link of that is in the description below. And all of Mike's links are going to be in the description below as well if you're on YouTube. And if you're in your favorite podcast player, it's going to be in the show notes. So Mike, welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, bro?
So let's start with your background here, man. What's your background and how'd you get into 3D printing?
I'm Air Force dude. I blew out my ACL and was bored, bought a 3D printer. And I was stuck at home for a while, just trying to figure it out. Threw that one away and got a real one.
There you go. So torn your how'd you tear your ACL, man?
Volleyball against the Army.
Volleyball against the Army. Dang. Had to be against those guys too. It couldn't just be squadron against squadron, huh?
Nope. Had to go down.
Did we win at least?
Not after I left.
Oh, this guy. All right, I'll take it. So how'd you get into 3D printing, man?
Like I said, sitting on the couch, ACL, immobilizer on my leg, and I had friends that were like into cosplay. And they wanted like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's how it works. Everybody wants stuff, and I was like, I can make stuff because I can't do anything else. So I bought like an XYZ something Da Vinci printer.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible. Then I got a CR10, the old school, like when they were like $300.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this thing is freaking amazing. And then just started kind of found Thingiverse. They're like, oh, cool. Here's like a helmet. Found other guys like Colonius and those guys when they used to put out all those badass like Red Hood helmets, stuff like that. I'm like, well, let me start making stuff. Then I found your board and started bumping up to like more printers, making more stuff. I could walk again, so going to cons. Just kind of went crazy from there.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So what is it exactly that you sell now that you with your 3D printer in your workshop?
Well, I do so much. 3D printing is like one big chunk of it, but a lot of what I do with 3D printing is just props and prop kits. I sell stuff on Etsy. I do get a lot of word of mouth where people are like, hey man, I want to get this gun from Halo, or I want this like gun from some other thing, or sword, So they want it made, and usually they don't want to spend a whole lot of money. So first I was making like finishing it, painting it, doing all this crazy stuff. And then COVID kind of came around and people were more interested. Like they were at home, they wanted stuff to do. So I started, like, well, I'll print you what I would put together, put it in a box and mail it to you. And, you'll save yourself like $100 or something like that. Me painting it, sanding it, you do it. And that kind of just took off. And then, so basically what I make and finish for myself or local people, when I put it on Etsy, it's the same kit, but you finish it your way. You put your spin on it. And then, like with masks and stuff, people want to light up lenses and all that crazy glowy stuff that goes on. So I got lasers, started cutting lenses, putting LEDs and stuff in it. Now it's just kind of getting crazy, man. So much stuff going on.
I agree, dude. So how much a month are you making in profit on the business?
So if I broke it down to just like 3D printing, I would say the average is about $500 to $1,000 a month.
$500 to $1,000 a month. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, and then like,
and that's just in 3D printing. What about the whole shop?
I want to say in laser cutting, that ranges from like $100 to like 1,500 a month, depending on.
Wow.
And that's people buying like light up lenses and custom lenses for whatever they're making. I also laser cut like foam, like EVA foam. People make mask stuff out of those. I just started doing fiber laser for metal cutting and engraving. You know, I got CNCs behind me. All sorts of craziness. And then I kind of transitioned a little bit to where I'm doing these like sword things. I got a couple of them back there.
Yeah.
They're like live blades, but I design the parts and then I 3D print them and test the fit and put them together and be like, all right, this is what it's going to look like. And then I'll either machine them or have them cast in metal and push forward from there. And it's just kind of crazy. You know, you go from something like this, a little SLA printed guard, and next thing you know, you got it in solid bronze.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome, man. So on average, for the entire shop, you're making about $1,500 on both the 3D printing and the laser cutting side, on average total for the month, right?
Right.
That's pretty solid, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the idea for the sword guards, the samurai guards, the katana guards?
Because I did something like it like 10 years ago, but I would never like, you know, 3D print or computer design. Like I knew like AutoCAD, like 2-dimensional AutoCAD.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of draw stuff up and then have it done like on a water jet. Everybody owns a water jet company. And he would, you know, I'd give him the material, he'd cut out the pieces and bring them home and polish them up, do whatever, put them together. And then, you know, I have a friend of mine, Jose, he's in Canada and he's like a professional carver. And he carves stuff for like movies and props.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, hey, you know, if you want to cast them, you know, you got my permission. Here's some cool stuff you can cast. I started putting them together. And then I decided, you know, I'm going to go back in the military. So I need to put all this stuff kind of on hold. Got back in. And then years later, blew out the ACL. Found myself sitting around and needing to do something again. You know, being a vet, like you can't have idle hands.
No way.
So started getting back into printing, booting up the AutoCAD. And I think you remember back on the board, I put up something like doing like AutoCAD, like 3D, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of cool. You know, because, you know, AutoCAD 3D sucks. But I transitioned over to like SolidWorks, which badass, and then Blender, taking some of Nico's courses, helped me with Blender a lot. Because I was pretty solid on 3D modeling, but Blender was just like a weird kind of like.
It's because the UI is so intimidating. That's why. But once you figure out the UI and what you're doing, Blender is a breeze, man.
Yeah, and what I do a lot is I take something, I'll design it in SolidWorks, and then I'll import it into Blender, and then start using some of those tips and tricks, learning from you to like refine it, make it more sculpted, or make it more, you know, rounded, or stuff that like, you know, SolidWorks would take 3 months to do. You can like finish it off in Blender like cake.
Yeah. So how did you get your first customers and your first clients when you first started?
Honestly, it was just kind of like friends. Like, hey, I got a printer. I was bored. You know, my buddy came over and he's like, hey, you do printing, huh? I was like, yeah, like I made that little cat that goes like this.
Yeah.
Like and
I think we've all made that.
Yeah. And I had the first model where it would like stop halfway through the head because it was like remember Creality was putting them out that way?
Yep.
So, and then I was just kind of making little knickknacks, trying to figure out settings. He's like, hey, my son wants like a guitar thing that clips onto it to hold the strings down. I figured it was called. I'm like, well, let's do it. Printed it. And then, you know, then I was like going to a con and I was like, well, I got this like crazy Deadpool math thing and I wanted to make the eye lenses. I had to like print those. And then, oh, you know, you can't bring a real knife. So let me find a knife that I can 3D print. And then it just kind of like, hey, where'd you get the plastic knife? I 3D printed it. Well, cool. Like, can I get one? I'm like, sure. How much? I'm like, I don't know, like $5.
This boy said $5. What the hell, Mike?
Well, that was like, years ago. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, oh, I rolled a PLA back then. I could get for like $10. So it was like $5. Oh yeah, I'm using like this much PLA, and I'm paying for half the roll on making one dude a knife. So it's like cool. I mean, granted, prices have gone up. My prices have gone up. I still try to stay inexpensive on like the kit stuff because I want people to get it, put it together, get out there, have fun, and be like, man, this is like, it was fun to put it together. I do QR codes with like instructions on how to glue it together, ideas on how to kind of paint it or finish it, and then they go off and they go to cons and they take their pictures and they're like, this is me with my badass rifle, and a lot of times they're like, there goes props and a tag, and then somebody will see that and they'll click on it and they'll click back to my Third Coast Props and they'll be like, oh, cool, like he made like an axe or he made like a map.
Yeah.
Hey bro, can you make me a Legend of Zelda sword, or can you make me a shield, or can you make me lenses or something? And yeah, let's talk.
That's awesome, dude. So after that, did you then take the money that you profited with, and did you just buy more machines? I know when you and I first met, you didn't have the CNC yet. So did you just take all the money and then you just expanded your shop, and then that's how you grew?
Yeah. I mean, at one point I had like 8 or 9 3D printers. Now I'm down to I got 4 FDM printers. I still got my CR10 S4S that, the guys over at Tiny Machines.
Tiny Machines. Shout out to Chris. Out to Chris. They are the best vendors in the United States for FDM printers.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, some of those printers I've touched. Because they'll call me up and I'll run over there. And
that's right, because they're in Houston. That's right. You're right next door.
Well, an hour across town, but yeah, we'll go over there and we'll troubleshoot printers and we'll do whatever. And it's awesome because Chris is a real good dude. So he's always kind of like
a good dude, man.
Get up with my printers. Always kind of gave me the next best little upgrade for him. So pretty much all my printers except for my SLAs I get from Chris. I've still got the S4 that's totally like Frankenstein, Tiny Machines, Frankenstein. Oh my God, this thing will print concrete if I have to. And then I got like Vividinos, the T-Rex and the Raptor. Love those. I got an Orca, which is okay. And then I started getting into the SLA. And then that thing just like blew me away. Like,
yeah, SLAs are nice, dude. The
detail,
the quality of print you get from it is unmatched. So what brand filament are you using?
I usually for like big stuff that I'm putting out a lot of. I mean, I go with Ziltech. They're in town.
Ziltech is also in Houston.
And then one of my favorites is Filacube.
Is who?
Filacube.
Oh, Filacube. Okay.
They're also here in Houston. What's cool about Filacube, it's like a 1 or 2 guy operation, and he makes it here in town.
Nice.
He's extruding it and rolling it and doing all that stuff. So a little bit pricier, probably like $5-10 more than Ziltech. But if you're making an Iron Man suit or like a ton of stuff, like Ziltech's, $100, you get like 8-10 rolls, and you can just start pounding out stuff. Filacube, it's just like a fine wine, man. It's just, you can leave that stuff on the printer for like 2 months, totally saturated, whatever, hit print, and it just goes. Bend it over, it stays flexible.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I know Chris usually carries Filacube in his shop because it's just good stuff, man.
Good. So be sure to send me the links to that, and we'll link that in the description below. That way we get some Filacube, some love, man.
Yeah, they're on Amazon too.
Good. Yeah, we'll link them. And so what options have you tried to increase sales? Have you tried Facebook ads? You mentioned you're on Etsy, right?
Yep, I have a small Etsy little shop.
Okay. And have you tried Etsy ads or anything like that? Like
no,
free shipping?
I haven't done any of those little things that they say like, hey, offer free shipping, or give us $10 and we'll show your picture to like 10,000 people. I haven't done that. Doesn't sound too expensive, but I feel like anytime I get into like a slower low, I'm like, man, everything's slowing down. Like maybe do I need to to push something in or do it to boost it, like it just kind of happens. You know, people are just like, oh, you know, there's this crazy con coming up in Colorado or Michigan or in Houston or something, and then people are starting to look like, oh, I want to get some stuff. All right, you know, let me go to Instagram, let me go to Facebook, let me see what people are buying and using, and it's that word of mouth, that virtual word of mouth, just like pushing it along, and they're just like, hey, I saw your picture on Instagram. Are you know, do you think you could do this? Do you think you could do that? And then like, yeah, let's talk. You know, you want it 3D printed? You want something, you know, you want it CNC out of wood? Like, what do you want? You know.
So do you have your own website? Where's the majority of the business coming from, the website or Etsy?
Well, Etsy's got its own group of followers, its own thing. If you're on Etsy, people are going to find you eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And it, you know, having 5-star reviews, which, you know, I think I have like 99% 5 stars, is highly important. But I mean, honestly, it's like Instagram and stuff like that. People, especially if you're doing cosplay and stuff like that, cosplayers are looking at other cosplayers. What are they doing? What are they wearing? Where are they getting their stuff? So that's where 90% of it is. And yeah, I have 2 websites, you know, for like props and that kind of stuff. It's Third Coast Props. And then for, you know, like the sword stuff and more, you know, taking props to reality. That's Dice Armory.
So are you doing your own designs now for your stuff? And what program are you using?
So I use, like I said, I still use AutoCAD for basic 2D things. You can't knock it. SolidWorks for geometric 3D, and then Blender to take it up to the next level. And then now I'm starting to use like Adobe Illustrator and stuff like that to give small little details.
Are you selling any of your files?
I do have a couple files that I put up there on the Etsy. I thought about putting them on that good old Nico Industries page there.
Yeah, the vendor program ended. I was losing money on it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, it happens. But yeah, I mean, I've got a couple on Etsy, and if somebody like asks me for something, I can do it. I'll get it to them. Or if I'm busy and it's something beyond my abilities, like I've got some people that I use, and I'll just be like, hey, you know, talk to this person or that person, and they'll give you a good deal. They'll set you up. They'll do what they can. And what always seems to happen, you know, whether they get a design, 3D design for somebody, they usually come back to me to print it or to make it, you know, go from digital to reality, because that's the magic.
That's sweet, man. So, dude, that's really it for me. So, what's next for you, man? What's on the horizon for the business?
Always buying more toys, man. Looking at, I want to get I do want to get like a laser, the desktop water jet. So, you know, I've always been trying to mix like, hey, can I print PLA and then print, you know, flexible and then PLA so I can make like an elbow that bends. That's still hard. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see if I can print some metal parts or CNC some metal parts so that, you know, these parts can come together. And then with like a water jet, a lot of guys are out there, they're buying like little buckles and stuff like that to snap. And then they, you know, they try to hook it up to plastic, rivet it. After 3 cons, rivets pull out, PLA buckles. Or if you're in Texas, you left it in the car, and now you have like a wobbly something or another. Like you've seen like the I did way back in the day, and it has a lot of like underneath it has a lot of like metal, just like flat 2-dimensional metal fittings for like straps and whatever to kind of hold everything together and take the weight off of the plastic and kind of put it across your shoulders or your hips and stuff like that. So I'm always looking to find a way to integrate all these things into like some.
That's smart, man.
Ways.
Real smart. That's real smart. So that's it for me, dude. Let's wrap this up with your number 1 tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing business.
Well, find your niche. Always find your niche. It's got to be something you like, because you're going to spend a lot of time being aggravated with your machine, with your software, with whatever. So you got to love it to do it. And then you love it and you do it, you're going to want to put it up on social media somehow. You want to show everybody on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or whatever, what you like. And dude, this is like a built-in audience of people that want to spend their money on cool stuff. And if you got your niche, you love what you do, people see it, and it's cool to them, they're going to give you their money. So always just kind of push through and fight through the hard times, do what you love, show it off, and they're just going to freaking come. If you build it, they will come.
There you go. All right, guys. So as always, if you guys stay to the very, very, very end, I'm going to give you your own product idea for your own 3D printing business. And today's product idea is Nerf Gun Mods. You guys, you can take apart a Nerf gun and give it a new skin that looks cooler than the Nerf gun skin that it has now, right? And there's a bunch of people in the 3D printing community that's all they do is they mod Nerf guns. And the mechanism and everything is all still going to be the same. So if you guys love Nerf guns, might want to look into that. So that's it for me. Again, Mike, congratulations, man. $1,500 a month from the workshop that's no joke. With the retirement and all that other stuff, that's pretty damn good money, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I got to stay busy. Man. I still got 7 years of retirement, man. I'm not that old yet.
You just look like you're 80, bro.
It happens. We all can't look like we're 12.
You guys, also, if you guys didn't know, Mike is my personal Deadpool. So yeah. I know right now he doesn't look like the Merc with a mouth, but outside of interviews like this, they do get a mouth. So just saying. All right, hey, Mike, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here, man.
Remember the Deadpool armor?
Yes.
You told me to get 10 people.
Yeah. Hey, you got me like 13 people for that. Yeah. I remember that. All right, Mike. I'll catch you later, man.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Peace out.